Hi, it's Nikki here from the Curious L&D Conversations, and this is the second in our 4-part mini-series about company inductions. And today we are talking about the magical formula for day one. Now, this, I think, is the elder wand. So, of course, everything that I say must be true. So our magical formula for day one. This is purely my own opinion around this, but having designed plenty of inductions and been part of many inductions, I feel as though when you answer 3 specific questions for somebody on their first day, you are onto a winner. They become more engaged, more likely to be more effective in their job role. So what are these 3? These 3 little magical elements that I'm on about. So the first one, and remember we're answering these from your new employee's perspective. The first one is, did I make the right choice? Did I make the right choice about joining this company? There are going to be some tangible elements that you can put in place for this, but there's also lots of intangible stuff as well. So the simple aspect of, was I greeted when I turned up? Was I made to feel welcome? Was I embarrassed during an icebreaker that was completely pointless? Was I made aware of my surroundings? Do I understand my place within the company? There's tons of stuff in them. But what we have to do is put ourselves into the shoes of the new employee and start to think, when they go home that night and they're talking to their spouses, their loved ones, their friends, their family, and they say, how was your first day? We want them to say, it actually was really good. I got a lot from it. I think this is going to be a really good company for me. So that's number 1. Did I make the right choice? The second question that they need to be able to answer is, do I know about the company and do I know about my job role? Do I know enough and do I know the relevant stuff about that? So in terms of the company, people tend to forget to introduce the company, about its history. Where did it start? Why is it where it is now? Has it been on an up and down journey? Has it been static for a while and now they're recruiting lots of people? Who are the people that actually founded it? All those kind of things are interesting to people. It may not be relevant specifically to their job role, but what it does do is it allows them to connect with the company. And the other part is about my job role. Do I know enough about my job role? So they should be meeting their line manager on their very first day and having a conversation about their job, because a job spec and an interview does not give you enough information about what to expect. They should be introduced to their department where they're going to sit, so they get a feel for this. Even if they're not going to be there on the first day, first week, whatever, they should be introduced to that. So first one was, did I make the right choice about joining the company? The second one is, do I understand the company, my role within it? And so what is the third one? The third one is, what do I do if I've got a question? Who do I ask? Because as a new starter, that's really important. It may be that they've got questions that are about payroll or HR, or childcare, or anything to do with that. But it could also be that they've got a question that they kind of want to ask their manager, but they kind of don't, because the manager's just actually given them a new job and they don't want to feel thick in front of them. So is there a buddy that they could go to? Who's the person that they could go and speak to this stuff? So that's really important. If you can answer those 3 things for a new starter on their first day, everything else will drip into those. Okay, so just to recap before we round off. So the first one, did I make the right choice in joining this company? Do I understand the company and my role within it? And the third one, who do I ask if I have a question? If you've missed any in this series, then you can go onto the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the little bell, and it'll give you new notifications of new ones, or you can see the past ones as well. So go check those out. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. It won't be doing magical formulas next time. We'll actually be doing about the ingredients of making up an induction, a good company induction. I'll see you there.